The film opens by presenting information about hydrophobia, which is an extreme fear of water that was first discovered around 2300 BC. Animals infected with this disease become extremely aggressive and brutal when they see water. If not treated within 24 hours, the disease becomes incurable. In the modern world, hydrophobia is known as rabies, which literally in Latin means madness. Next, the film shows a veterinarian named Du, who visits a chimpanzee cage at a house. After receiving a report that a chimpanzee named Ben is unwell, the doctor immediately opens a bag containing injections to treat Ben. However, when he turns around, the doctor is shocked to find that Ben is no longer in his place. Du then takes Ben's doll to coax him out of hiding. But unexpectedly, Ben suddenly grabs the doctor's hand and brutally tears his face until Du dies on the spot. Ben himself was adopted by a linguistics professor for research purposes, along with her husband named Adam. Adam is a mute man who communicates using sign language. In a newspaper, it is shown that Ben is a super intelligent chimpanzee who is far different from ordinary chimpanzees. Ben is capable of understanding and using more than 300 words in sign language. Unfortunately, Adam's wife suffered from cancer and eventually passed away. Since then, Ben has lived with Adam and his two daughters, named Lucy and Erin. 36 hours before the attack on the veterinarian, we are shown Lucy, who is returning home for summer vacation, with her friend named Kate. Lucy calls Erin and asks Erin to convey a message to their father to pick Lucy up at the airport. However, Lucy realizes that Erin sounds upset because Lucy often leaves Erin alone at home. At the airport, Lucy accidentally bumps into a stranger named Drew, causing her doll to fall. Not long after, a woman named Hannah turns out to be on the same plane. Kate claims that she was the one who invited Hannah to join them for summer vacation. However, Hannah's presence makes Lucy feel uncomfortable, as if Hannah will ruin their bonding moments. And sure enough, as soon as they arrive, Hannah asks Lucy to change seats so she can sit next to Kate. Upon arriving at the airport, Lucy and her friends are not picked up by Lucy's father. Instead, they are picked up by Kate's older brother named Nick, who then takes them to Lucy's house. Lucy lives in a luxurious house that directly borders the sea. There, Adam is seen having a meeting about his latest book project and hasn't noticed Lucy's arrival yet. As soon as he realizes his daughter has arrived, Adam immediately hugs Lucy warmly. Kate also greets Adam because they already know each other. Meanwhile, Hannah is introduced as a friend who will join the vacation together. Nick then tries to greet Adam. Hearing this, Adam teases Lucy by saying that Lucy has a chance to approach Nick as if he knows that his daughter likes Nick. Fortunately, Nick cannot understand sign language at all, so he doesn't realize the conversation. After that, Lucy meets Erin, whom she hasn't seen for a long time. Erin looks angry and disappointed because her older sister has been away for too long. Lucy finally apologizes sincerely, which makes Erin gradually soften. Lucy then takes out the doll she brought as a gift for Ben, their pet chimpanzee. Ben looks very happy to see Lucy's return. He expresses his happiness using a sound toy board while showing how much he has missed Lucy. That evening, Lucy playfully introduces Ben to Hannah, which immediately makes Hannah terrified. Seeing the reaction, Lucy finally asks Hannah to try standing closer to Ben. At that time, Ben looks shy when meeting a stranger. After that, Hannah continues to tour the luxurious house and sees various family photos on the wall, including a photo of Lucy's late mother. Nick then comes and explains that Lucy's mother died of cancer. He also tells that Lucy's mother was once a linguistics professor who kept Ben for research purposes. Hannah then continues touring the house until she arrives at the basement area, equipped with a swimming pool and directly bordering a cliff. At first, Hannah enjoys the atmosphere while relaxing by the poolside. However, the atmosphere turns eerie when Ben suddenly appears. Ben looks strange and stares at the water with great fear. He tries to extend his hand toward Hannah. And when Hannah reciprocates the gesture, Ben suddenly becomes aggressive and makes Hannah feel panicked. Fortunately, Adam immediately comes and stops Ben using his whistle. Adam suspects that Ben is acting strangely because he is near a stranger. After that, Adam takes Ben to his cage. There he finds something suspicious, namely the carcass of a weasel that has been torn apart by Ben. And because it's getting dark, Adam cannot determine what's wrong with Ben and instead locks Ben's cage from the outside. The next morning, Lucy and Erin are seen casually browsing social media to stalk Drew, the man Lucy met at the airport area. Not long after, Adam comes while carrying the weasel carcass he found the previous night. Adam intends to call a veterinarian to check Ben's condition, while also bringing the weasel carcass to the laboratory for examination. Before leaving, Adam firmly warns his two daughters not to open Ben's cage until he returns, or until the veterinarian can come. After their father left, the children began to enjoy their free time. They swam and had fun in the swimming pool until late. However, when night fell, boredom began to set in. Lucy then challenged herself to call the man they had met on the plane. Hannah gave Drew's number to Lucy. Lucy then called while joking and teasing, even inviting the man to come to their house while they were having fun. Unfortunately, the call went straight to voicemail because the number could not be answered. A short while later, Lucy's phone rang again. Without checking the caller's number, Lucy answered carelessly. And who would have thought the caller turned out to be Kate and Nick's parents, which made the atmosphere awkward. Not long after that, Kate suddenly started vomiting for no clear reason. Lucy immediately took her upstairs to rest. Meanwhile, by the poolside, Nick and Hannah began discussing Lucy and Kate. Nick said that Kate seemed to be trying to impress Hannah. However, Hannah replied by saying that it was actually Lucy who was trying to get Nick's attention because Lucy liked Nick. Nick then answered that he only considered Lucy as his own younger sister. After that, Hannah and Nick suddenly kissed, unaware that Lucy was watching them from behind the glass door with a heartbroken and disappointed feeling. On the other side, the veterinarian summoned by Adam finally arrived at the house, as shown at the beginning of the film. This was the very moment that became the main reason why Ben could escape from his cage. At the same time, Kate, who had started to feel better, immediately went downstairs while scrolling through her phone. Downstairs, she was startled to see Ben's doll, which should have been inside the cage. Kate then called for Hannah, but instead of receiving a reply, she was suddenly shocked by Ben's unexpected appearance, behaving in a very strange manner. Kate quickly closed the door and called for Lucy. Lucy immediately rushed down. Kate reported that Ben was acting abnormally. Lucy then opened the door, but Ben had already vanished. Not long after, Lucy found Ben's doll smeared with red liquid. Aaron, who arrived shortly after, tried to calm the situation by saying that Ben had never attacked anyone before. At that very moment, they heard screams coming from the direction of the swimming pool. Lucy asked Aaron to stay upstairs while she and Kate hurried down. They found Nick trying to calm Ben, who was about to attack Hannah. Lucy spoke calmly to Ben, and for a brief moment, Ben appeared more composed. Seizing the opportunity, Nick reached for a rope nearby. But in his panic, he accidentally activated one of Ben's toys, causing Ben to become aggressive again. The toy was then thrown toward the cliff. Lucy once again tried to soothe Ben, promising not to hurt him. At the same time, they began wrapping the rope around Ben's neck. Unfortunately, Ben erupted into another frenzy and nearly attacked Nick. Aaron, who had previously been upstairs, finally came down and suggested that they immediately call their father or the veterinarian. The problem was that the phone was left on the upper floor. Hannah, in a panic, suggested that Ben should just be shot, which sparked a major argument between her and Lucy because Lucy felt that Hannah shouldn't even be there. Amid the chaos, Kate tried to call the veterinarian. However, the veterinarian's phone could be heard ringing from upstairs, making them realize that something terribly wrong had already occurred. Meanwhile, Aaron tried to approach Ben to calm him down, unaware that Ben was biting through his restraining rope. Realizing that the veterinarian had likely already been attacked by Ben, they urgently told Aaron to move away, but it was too late. Ben's bindings came loose, and he immediately attacked Aaron, biting her leg with tremendous force. After Ben released his bite, the panicked children instantly jumped into the swimming pool. The pool water quickly turned red from Aaron's severe wound. To stop the bleeding, Nick tore off his shirt and used it as a makeshift bandage. Aaron began to realize she might have been infected from the bite. Lucy tried to comfort her and promised to take her to the hospital, but the harsh truth was they were completely trapped with no way out. Eventually, everyone screamed for help, desperately hoping someone would hear them. Meanwhile, Ben continued to stalk them, moving menacingly from one side of the pool to the other. Seeing Ben standing at the cliff's edge, Nick had a reckless idea to push Ben off. He gathered all his strength and lunged forward to shove him. Unfortunately, Ben got snagged and yanked Nick's hand forcefully. As a result, Nick tumbled down, crashing onto the rocks below and dying instantly. Amid the escalating terror, Lucy spotted a lifebuoy not far from them. She immediately realized Aaron desperately needed it, as her condition was rapidly worsening from Ben's bite. With careful caution, Lucy summoned her courage and inched toward the lifebuoy, moving slowly to avoid catching Ben's attention. After successfully retrieving it, Lucy quickly asked the others to help place Aaron on it so she could stay afloat and conserve her dwindling strength. At the same time, Lucy noticed Hannah's phone lying discarded near the pool's edge. Recognizing it as their only hope to call for help, Lucy once again recklessly stepped toward it. Just as her fingers were about to grasp the phone, it suddenly rang loudly, immediately alerting Ben to Lucy's presence. In an instant, Ben turned aggressive again. He even scrambled up the lamp cable strung above the pool and seized Hannah's hair. Hannah fought back, pulling her hair away until Ben finally dropped back down to the pool's edge. When they finally secured the phone, Lucy realized there were no saved contacts for her father or the veterinarian inside it. This forced them to call the last dialed number, which turned out to be Drew's. Drew answered the call. However, like any typical young man, he assumed Lucy and the others were merely joking around and having fun. Drew had absolutely no idea that the people calling him were in grave danger. Elsewhere, Adam received a voicemail from Mary, the laboratory technician who had examined the weasel carcass Adam had found earlier. Busy with work, Adam did not answer the call. Mary then sent a text message explaining that the weasel was infected with rabies and urgently urged Adam to check on Ben's condition immediately. Still, Adam did not believe it right away, reasoning that rabies almost never occurred in the Hawaii area. Meanwhile, the night deepened. Adam repeatedly tried calling Lucy, but not a single call was answered. Back at the pool area, the atmosphere suddenly fell into an eerie silence. Lucy began to realize they could not keep holding out there. She finally decided to go upstairs in the house to seek help and, at the very least, find something that could be used as a weapon. At first, Lucy went alone, but shortly after, Kate followed her. They cautiously moved through the interior of the house but found no sign of Ben anywhere. While in the living room, they spotted a phone charging on a surface. Lucy reached for it, but accidentally stepped on the remote control, causing the television to blare loudly. The sudden noise immediately drew his attention. Ben felt panicked. Lucy and Kate swiftly hid inside a wardrobe. Moments later, Ben truly arrived at the source of the sound. Ben sensed their presence and began violently smashing the wardrobe. However, because they were concealed behind a thick pile of clothing, Ben could not immediately locate them. When Ben momentarily stepped away, Lucy and Kate emerged from hiding and tried to flee. Suddenly, Ben reappeared directly above them, activated his toy, and uttered a devastating phrase that shattered Lucy. "Lucy is a bad person." Immediately after, Ben lunged at Lucy. Kate desperately pulled Ben from behind to free Lucy. They then sprinted toward another room and slammed the door shut. The highly intelligent Ben attempted to open the door by mimicking human behavior. Yet Lucy and Kate held firm from the other side, forcing Ben to shatter the door's glass panel in frustration. Lucy and Kate were compelled to retreat once more, hurrying back toward the pool area before Ben could launch another attack. But on the stairs, Kate was violently thrown back. Ben immediately approached and smashed Kate's head with a rock, killing her instantly. Ben then nearly did the same to Lucy. At that very moment, Hannah appeared and wrapped a rope tightly around Ben's neck. Lucy immediately plunged into the water and joined in, pulling the rope in an effort to drag Ben into the pool. However, Ben was too strong. He yanked the rope back forcefully and freed himself from the noose. Meanwhile, Adam, who had been repeatedly trying to reach Lucy, grew increasingly worried. He abandoned his work and rushed straight back home. At nearly the same time, Drew finally arrived at Lucy's house alongside his friend Brett. Upon arrival, they saw the luxurious house shrouded in darkness and eerie silence. Assuming Lucy and her friends were playing hide-and-seek or joking around, they split up to search for them. Drew entered one of the rooms and hid inside. But while he was there, he was startled to see Ben suddenly appear before him. Drew tried to calm Ben down, but his efforts were futile. Ben attacked Drew, tearing his jaw loose until Drew died on the bed. Elsewhere, Brett discovered severed body parts still smeared with red liquid. As he turned to flee, Ben emerged from behind and brutally killed Brett with a shovel. Downstairs, Lucy and Hannah heard Ben's increasingly frenzied noises. Seizing the chaos, Hannah grabbed the car keys and attempted to escape. Unfortunately, she mistakenly got into the wrong car. Ben cleverly held the correct set of keys. Hannah locked herself inside the vehicle and called the police. The dispatcher asked for the full address, but Hannah didn't know it. This was her first time visiting Lucy's house. Moments later, Ben emerged from the trunk and attacked Hannah, resulting in her death. Inside the house, Lucy, now completely alone, decided to go upstairs. She spotted shattered glass and discovered Brett's lifeless body nearby. Her own leg was wounded by the broken glass. As she tried to remove the shards, Ben reappeared once more, startling her again. Just before Ben could strike, Lucy heard Adam's voice outside the house. Ben instantly shifted his focus to find Adam. Lucy desperately tried to warn her father, but Adam heard none of her cries. Ben then dragged Lucy under the bed and hurt her. Lucy attempted to soothe him, and for a fleeting moment, Ben seemed calmer. But he attacked again, forcing Lucy to crawl beneath the bed to evade him. Suddenly, Erin appeared and pleaded with Ben not to harm her older sister. Instead, Ben turned on Erin and viciously clawed at her body. Upstairs, someone discovered Drew's corpse and finally realized the horrifying truth. At the same time, Lucy and Erin continued their desperate struggle against Ben. Ben nearly tore Lucy's jaw off until, in the final seconds, Adam burst in and blew his whistle to stop Ben. Ben instantly spun around and lunged at Adam. Adam fought back, but Ben's strength overwhelmed him. Lucy struck Ben with a shovel, but it shattered on impact, leaving Ben poised to attack her again. Before he could, Adam renewed his assault and stabbed Ben with a shard of broken glass bottle until Ben collapsed, unconscious. For a moment, they believed it was over, but Ben rose once more. Lucy sacrificed herself, leaping toward Ben to knock him off balance. Fortunately, Adam managed to save his daughter by grabbing Lucy's hand. Ben plummeted downward and died instantly, impaled by a broken chair fragment. Soon after, police and ambulances arrived at the house. Erin was swiftly secured and rushed to the hospital.